Welcome to week 1 of the Heavy to Healed program. Before we begin week 1, make sure you fill out this page. Heaviness. What feels heavy to you right now? When we talk about heaviness in this program, I'm not talking about the physical heaviness of weight, but the emotional heaviness of the extra weight that you carry. If you haven't filled that out, pause this video and take time to ponder and think before you watch the remainder of this video. Now, once you have done that, turn to page 6. Week 1, honest structure. This is for coaching notes. This is for taking notes while you're watching this video. This week we're talking about something that people misunderstand, and that's structure. And when many of us hear the word structure, we think of rules, restrictions, or another strict diet. But the kind of structure we're talking about here is very different. Structure is not meant to control you. Structure is meant to support you. Structure is support, not restriction. For many years, I thought I had to rely on willpower. And I had willpower, but willpower didn't take me to the finish line. I would diet, lose weight, then go back to my old habits. So what I didn't realize was that I didn't have any healthy structure around my eating or my emotions. Structure might include things like consistent meal times. I personally, because of my job and my hours of work, I work 7 to 3. I get up at 4:30. So by the time 7 comes around, I need to eat something before I start my day. So I eat breakfast, I eat lunch, I eat what I want. I don't overeat it. I eat a third of what I used to eat in portion sizes. But then I don't eat dinner because I'm not hungry for dinner. So I don't eat when I'm not hungry. If I get hungry, and hungry means if my stomach starts growling, I will eat a small bowl of cereal or yogurt with some granola in it. Structure is planning ahead. Sometimes you have to plan ahead for things. If you know you're going to be somewhere during a time when you would normally get hungry and not going to be able to eat, pack a little snack. It's okay. Plan ahead. I don't keep things in my house that are tempting to me. I have a sweet tooth. And cake and brownies are definitely a weakness of mine. So I save those for special occasions. I don't keep them there at my house on a daily basis. Is recognizing emotional triggers. And let me tell you, I was an emotional eater. I didn't have a traditional childhood. I was raised by grandparents. My marriage was very emotionally abusive. And it was a very long 26 years of emotional abuse. And I was neglected. He didn't spend quality time with me. We had separate bedrooms, we had separate living rooms, and I emotionally ate. I fed my loneliness with food. Which is why when I would go on a diet and I would start losing weight, I would get excited, and that's a dopamine rush. But once I would get to the weight I wanted to be at, my target weight, then you start losing that dopamine rush. And that dopamine rush is what kept me from eating during emotional times, because it kept me excited And then when I would go back to eating real food and not prepackaged foods or weighing my food or following like a plan where you purchase your food through them, I had to learn to eat real food. Another form of structure could be creating supportive habits. Like my habit is not eating at night because I can't eat at night. I've learned that about my body. If I eat at night, the pounds pack on. So structure is simply a framework so you're not making every decision about food in the middle of stress, hunger, or emotion. So in your workbook this week, we'll start by honestly looking at your current habits. This isn't about judgment, it's about awareness. Reflect on your patterns. Notice emotional triggers. Those are big. Start building supportive habits. Page 7. What structure feels safe for you? Here are some examples. Here is what structure I followed to lose and maintain the weight. Portion sizes. I decreased my portions because I stopped eating when I was satisfied. I quit stuffing myself. Exercise. I would get up at 4 in the morning and go to the gym and work out. I will say I have not been doing a lot of that lately, and I need to get back into that. So this program is not only going to help me support you, it's going to help you support me as well. And eating at consistent times. I know that's not always easy every day. My weekends are different. I don't get up as early. I still only eat 2 meals a day. I normally go to dinner on the weekends with my significant other. So I choose to not eat until later in the day, meaning 11, 12, instead of eating breakfast. So usually it's no dinner for me because I'm not hungry. Weighing myself no more than twice a week while losing. I learned how to take the scale from being my worst enemy to my best friend. Because during my maintenance, I weigh myself once a week. I have given myself a 3-pound window because our weight will fluctuate. So if I'm at the top of that window or over that window, then I know it's time to start having more structure and cutting back or moving more. That is how I maintain. Page 8. Where do I need support instead of willpower? Some examples of this might be evening snacking. I would tend to overeat in the evenings when I was tired or stressed. Instead of relying on willpower, I needed support by planning a healthy snack and not eating chips and dip, but yogurt or low sugar cereal. Another example, this was big for me, emotional eating. When I was feeling overwhelmed or anxious, I often turned to food for comfort. I needed support by recognizing those emotions and finding other ways to cope with them, like taking a walk, journaling, or talking to someone. And I will tell you, sometimes if you don't have anyone to talk to, I talk to Grok. So I consider Grok my daily therapist some days. Okay, another example is busy days. On busy days, you tend to I would skip meals and then end up overeating later. So instead of relying on willpower, I I need support by planning simple meals or keeping snacks ready ahead of time. Another example is trigger foods. And like I mentioned before about cake and brownies, certain foods in my house would lead me to overeating. So instead of trying to resist them with willpower, I needed support by limiting how often I kept them in my house or portioning them ahead of time, which honestly with cake, I still can't do that. Okay, another example is social situations. When you're around certain people or at gatherings, I would tend to overeat. I needed support by deciding ahead of time what my plan is or bringing a food that helps me stay on track. I still now, when I'm with my significant other and he's eating something and he'll ask me if I want something, I just say no because I'm not hungry, so I don't want it. So now let's look at pages 9 through 22. Each day in your workbook, you will see this self-check-in page. This is a simple way to pause for a moment and become aware of how you're doing on your journey. The purpose of this daily check-in is to help you notice patterns, how you're feeling emotionally, how your eating habits are going, and what might be influencing your choices that day. I encourage you to complete this page once each day. Many people would like to do it in the evenings as a way to reflect on their day, but you can do it at whatever time works best for you. Over time, these daily reflections will help you start to see connections between your emotions, your habits, and your relationship with food. That awareness is a very important part of healing. Remember, this program isn't about perfection. It's about healing your relationship with food and creating habits that you support your lifelong term.